Well, nothing is sacred to the left. We already knew that. As their war on holidays continues, I swear they won't stop until we either rename all the holidays or we have nothing left over, it seems. Or is Elizabeth Warren just egging to have a holiday for her people? We'll get to that in a second. It's not Christopher Columbus Day to some people, some wokesters across America. It is to us, but not to some. At least 55 cities now celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day today over the arrival of Europeans to North America. Italian Americans, like yours truly, are, of course, very upset that the moment of pride is being stripped away. I do recall an entire episode of The Sopranos being dedicated to the left's attempt to sabotage Italian heritage on Columbus Day. And this particular episode ignited controversy and distracted from the true issues of Columbus Day.
I thought Columbus was the hero of America.
Oh, see, it's these Indians and the commie. They want to paint Columbus as a slave trader instead of an explorer.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's anti-Italian discrimination. Columbus Day is a day of Italian pride. It's our holiday, and they want to take it away.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? But why is an episode decades old still relevant to the modern politics surrounding Indigenous voices and the wokesters? Let's talk to someone who's definitely not woke. I'm proud to be joined by musician, outdoorsman, and good friend of mine, Ted Nugent. Motor City Madman, Indigenous Peoples Day, not Columbus Day. It's just one in a series of them trying to take down statues and discredit and rewrite history, really.
Well, I'm with the Sopranos there. I celebrate Columbus Day every day because I really love explorers. I love people looking for new lands to get away from tyrants and kings and emperors and people who think they can enslave people and experiment in self-government instead. So let me tell you, you're talking to the #1 blood brother, a spirit blood brother of the Native American people. I've been invited into all the different tribes' sweat lodges. I've been invited into their camps. I've hunted the sacred American bison with my bow and arrow and burnt the sweetgrass with the Assiniboine, the Gros Ventre, the Sioux, the Dakota, the Lakota. I really had a blessed life, I got to tell you, Eric. And for these people to think we need to celebrate more than Native American month, I think the whole month of November celebrates the great Native American peoples. And Ted Nugent and my family, we celebrate that original Aboriginal Native American lifestyle, particularly with the mystical flight of the bow and arrow. A lot of people call me Cochise, Crazy Horse, Sitting Bull, and White Cloud with a loud guitar. So my entire life is about celebrating people, and I don't compartmentalize them. I like people of goodwill and decency, positive spirit, positive attitude, positive energy, especially a positive gut pile that you procure with the mystical flight of the arrow like I do every day in October.
I love that. We're going to keep going. Christian, are you here, my man? We have a assistant production assistant here. Christian, go in my desk, go pull the baseball cap off my desk, bring it in real quick while I continue this conversation with Mr. Ted Nugent. Ted, let's pull up a little full screen that we had made. Run, Christian, run. We only got a minute. Go, run. Let's pull the full screen up of one Elizabeth Warren who actually put on an application for a job at Harvard that she was Cherokee, trying to get in the job. Happy Indigenous Day, Pocahontas. You there, Ted?
Yeah, you got it. Well, again, I got to tell you, Eric, denial stinks. She stinks, and all these political correct Democrats and the rhinos, they all stink. Nobody stinks in the Ted Nugent deer camp. And I got to tell you, I share a spiritual campfire every weekend with working hard, playing hard Americans here in the forests and the swamps and the fens and the marshes of Michigan from every state all across North America, and they are repulsed by people like Elizabeth Warren. They are repulsed by the Joe Biden gangster family and all this denial. We celebrate good people. We don't see color. We don't see history. We see people who are good and positive today. And I have my own ball cap, and it's called I Will Not Comply. When somebody tells you to do something really stupid, I do like Ted Nugent does, and I will not comply. These hats are available at tednugent.com, and we can't keep them in stock because people are fed up. There's a beautiful defiance going on. In fact, Eric, I had a bumper crop of middle fingers this year, so if anybody there in the studio needs some, I can have them airlifted into your living room. There's a real hardcore fire-breathing defiance out there, and I'm proud to be part of that.
Yeah, and Ted, I'm glad you are, and we bring you around for these things because you don't hold back. You're a patriot, true patriot. Here's the hat I was talking about. Christian ran and got it. So this bothered me a lot. The Washington Redskins became the Washington Commanders because they went woke. And I know Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder's the owner. He's definitely not woke, but he got so much pressure to change the name and other names, and different Cleveland Indians and whatnot. But these tribes are saying, don't do it. This is recognition that they were looking for. This isn't nasty. This isn't racism. This isn't bigotry. It's recognition. We know where we came from, right? But we're jumping through hoops for the wokesters.
Eric, can the guitar player help you out here? Let me try to explain. But everybody might want to record this truth, logic, and common sense tsunami I'm about to unleash with my blood brother Eric Bolling right now. When we reference Native American imagery, when we reference Native American spirit and the identity of Native Americans, whether it's for sporting events or whatever, it's because we revere their warrior spirit. It's a celebration. It's reverence for the Native Americans. It is polar opposite of discrimination or hate. We're celebrating that unique, that Apache blood brother warrior spirit. The Native Americans, they were warriors. They were independent, self-sufficient, hunting, fishing, trapping, good for Mother Nature, one with the great spirit of the wild. So any kind of numbnut that think it's offensive or disrespectful when you're referencing a Native American, that's not only woke, that's not only politically correct, that's brain dead. So everything I do in life starts, my songs, my band, my imagery on stage, the mystical flight of the arrow, my archery bow hunting lifestyle, it's a genuine genuflection at the altar of the Native American spirit warrior. And somebody got to get their head out of their ass and quit lying about it. The Native Americans are warriors. We're celebrating that.
Yeah. Ted, always good having you on, my man. Oh, and by the way, folks, Ted came out of the hunting blind to come do the hit to talk to you guys. He's headed back in the very beginning, in the midst of the hunting season. Ted, appreciate your time, my friend.
God bless you, Eric. Happy hunting season to everybody, and happy Native American Day every day.
Every day. Thank you, Ted Nugent, everyone.